Alright boys and girls, here's how to make fuck you money with info product copywriting, but before I tell you how to do that, let me tell you what not to do. We are not going to send dozens of outbound messages per day without getting any replies because that really fucking sucks. We're not going to try to sell low ticket products and get thousands of customers, and we're not going to beg clients for $2,000 retainers and constantly deal with churn because that also really sucks. The way to make a ton of money writing copy for coaching clients, for info product clients, is to get one solid client case study. You need one banger. And I have MBA Youngboy on here because once you get that, you will never have to worry about money again. You'll never have to worry about client acquisition again because you will be able to say, oh, I took this person from 15K a month to 100K a month, or I took this person from 0 to 600K a month. Like I'm able to say with some of my clients. Once you get that, not only can it make you a ton of money right there, but you can leverage that to go and get any client you want for eternity, basically. So let's talk about how you're gonna do this. It's going to be through personalized, high-quality outreach to your ICP, to your ideal client profile. What is an ideal client? Who is an ideal client? So first, they probably already have a solid organic audience. They're consistently posting educational style content on social media. They have a specified niche, whether it's real estate investing or social media growth or YouTube automation. They're posting content about a certain topic and they have an audience that clearly likes their content. Now, this doesn't mean they have to have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers, but they need to have a really solid offer. They need to be an expert on whatever they're talking about, and they need to have an audience that really likes them, that trusts them, and that wants to learn more from them and is willing to buy something in order to do so. Now, there are cases where somebody has a really solid offer in an untapped niche, but they just haven't been able to crack the content code yet. They haven't been able to get a lot of eyeballs. But if you see that situation, you could also identify that as an ideal client, but that probably will take longer to help them on the content side to really build that audience to where you're able to make multi six figures a month selling info products. So if you want to make as much money as you possibly can relatively quickly, you're going to want to look for somebody who has an existing audience, but they haven't fully capitalized on their traffic. And to know that, you're going to look for these three factors. So first, they can be newer to coaching. They either haven't launched their coaching yet, or they're doing so and they're making money without optimizing everything. So you'll see this a lot in the info product space. Somebody will just get a ton of traffic, and instead of sitting there and taking the time to build out a really good structure and a really good system, they'll just kind of freeball it, and their funnel will be crap. Maybe they won't have a VSL, they won't be sending emails, maybe they won't even have a CRM, and they'll just basically raw dog everything. And that can be a good situation if they are still making money despite the fact that their systems are just absolutely shit, because that shows, wow, this person can do all of this other stuff wrong. Everybody's worried about all these optimizations and running ads and getting more traffic and making sure every lead is accounted for. This person doesn't give a fuck about any of that and they're still making money. And I've seen this a lot. There was this one Airbnb guy that I talked to probably almost 3 years ago, and he had recently started his offer. He was doing over $900,000 per month without nearly any systems. He wasn't sending emails. He had one closer who a lot of the time was closing people through the DMs. He wasn't even getting on a sales call with anyone. He had all of these leads and didn't have a CRM. All he had was a fucking Calendly link. So that was crazy. That's where you look at an opportunity like that and you're like, holy shit, I'm about to be in a Lambo next week. The next thing you're gonna look for is if somebody can optimize or change their offer. So maybe they're selling a low ticket offer or a mid ticket offer, but they haven't launched anything high ticket. That's where you can go in and help them launch that high ticket offer and make a bunch of money right away because they already have that existing audience. They already have proof of concept because people are buying their low ticket thing. So you're just taking the asset that they already have, which is their personal brand, and you're building a more effective mechanism to sell high ticket coaching to their audience. And it'll be really easy to make them a lot more money doing so because it is genuinely way easier to sell a $5,000 product to one person than it is to sell a $500 product to 10 people, and that's going to attract a higher quality audience. With most coaching programs, you're basically selling money. You're selling somebody the idea that they can invest into you, into the program, and they can get 5, 10, 20x the return out of it. And a high quality person is gonna look at a $27 product or even a $300 product, and they're just instantly gonna assume that it's not gonna be worth their time. There's not gonna be very much support. Like, they would much rather pay a high ticket price point and get more hands-on, more one-on-one coaching. They're not gonna take it seriously if you're selling a mid-ticket or a low-ticket offer. So because of that, you're gonna unlock all these people who are in their audience who haven't pulled the trigger. They wanna work with this person, but they just haven't been presented with an offer that they feel is built for them. So once you do so, all of those people become buyers. I have an example of this with a client that I started working with a few months ago. He was selling a $47 a month school community, and he's in the real estate niche, so he's basically teaching people how to multiply their money, how to take $20,000 of capital and turn it into $40,000. So the type of person that a $47 a month community is gonna attract is not that type of person. It's not somebody who has capital and wants to invest. It's the little kid that wants to make their first dollar online, and they don't understand that there are much easier ways to build cash flow. So the last point here, I have or vice versa for webinars and mid-ticket. This is gonna be a more rare scenario, and I wouldn't recommend you trying to do this if you have never run a webinar before, if you've never sold anything that's like a mid-ticket offer. But if somebody has a solid audience and they've been selling a high-ticket program for a while, they're gonna have such a big database of leads that have wanted to book a call, or they opted into the email list. They've been exposed to the offer for so long, but for whatever reason, they just haven't pulled the trigger, and a lot of the times that reason can be financial. So that's where you could come in and build a mid-ticket offer for somebody, and that offer can be anywhere from $500 to $2,000, and sell that typically through a webinar. And what you're doing there is you're helping that client kind of clean up the scraps. So like, all of these people have seen that high ticket offer, but maybe they thought they weren't a good fit for it, or maybe they're hesitant to book a call because they know it's a sales call. But when you present them with, hey, I'm hosting a free live webinar this Wednesday, that's a much lower ask. They can sign up for that webinar, and then they hop on, and then you still have an opportunity to sell them. And that's gonna be for all of those people in their audience who trust the personal brand, but they were kind of on the fence about coaching. That's how you get them over the line. So the third factor here is marketing gaps. Like I said earlier, if they aren't sending any emails, if they don't have a good VSL, or if you opt into their funnel and you see that their sales process is just horrible, those are obvious gaps that you can fix. Typically, if they're gonna do 6 figures a month, they should be sending at least 3 to 5 emails per week. They need a 7 to 10 minute plus video sales letter that's well thought out. It shows social proof, it's talking to their ideal customer. And then on the sales side, if a prospect books a call, they should be getting a personal text right away. They should have pre-call homework that's showing them, hey, look at this case study, look at this interview, these people are getting results, watch this free training. Like, there should be a lot of communication just leading up to that call. And then obviously the closer has to hop on and do a sufficient job of closing that deal. So if you funnel hack them and you go through that entire process and you see that something can be fixed there, that's where there's money to be made. That's how you can eventually use that to pitch them. So real quick, I just want to show you some examples of everything I just talked about. And before I get into this part, do not pitch any of these people. I am showing you these examples out of the kindness of my heart, not telling you to pitch any of these people. If you do and they come to me and they say, Ben, I'm getting a bunch of DMs because of your YouTube video, I'm gonna send people to your home. Do not pitch anyone. Anyway, offer change. So I talked to this girl recently. She has a really big YouTube audience and she's crushing it. She's making good money. She has over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, but she's done so just by selling a $300 offer. So I talked to her and I was like, okay, she can make a ton of money selling high ticket. That's an obvious situation where I could just go in, build a high ticket offer with her, sell it to first all of her existing customers who have bought the $300 thing, and then open it up to all of the people who are subscribed to her YouTube channels and watching her videos. One simple tweak there would make her a lot of money and obviously make me a lot of money. Next, I have Mark Shapiro here. This is actually a current client of mine. I started working with him basically before he had a real offer. He had launched a school community, but I think it was only open for a week before I started. So like, I basically helped him from the ground up in building the high ticket offer. We built his VSL funnel and the email flows that go with it. And obviously he has a big audience, so he gets a lot of traffic, and that's a lucrative offer as well. Next, I have Jordan Welch on here. Definitely do not pitch Jordan. Again, I'm telling you, not pitch anybody on this list. but he just launched a YouTube coaching program. And if you were to go to his YouTube page and find the link for his coaching, you'd see that just a week ago, he didn't even have a VSL. All he had was a type form. And that means he's probably not sending emails. He probably doesn't have a sales team. He probably doesn't have a CRM. To be fair, I don't think he's trying to aggressively scale this offer, so he probably wouldn't be a great fit as a client. But from a pure situational perspective, that would be someone who can make an amazing client. Lastly, I have Kevin Packman here. He's another current client of mine. As you can see, he has a really big audience. And when I started working with him, they weren't sending any emails to their list. And they had that big buildup of people who've been exposed to their high ticket offer, but just hadn't booked a call for whatever reason. So we started running webinars with them, and that's worked super well. Anyway, let's move on to how to actually pitch and close clients like this. So first, quality outreach will get you quality clients. You're not gonna land the 10 out of 10 supermodel if you're dressed like a fucking bum and you smell like shit and you use the same line that everybody else does when they go up to her. You're gonna close the 10 out of 10 supermodel when you look good, when you show that you have some value, and you do something that is creative, that's unique, that she doesn't hear every day. So in the info product copywriting world, this means you need to funnel hack them and assess their situation. Your goal is to find their pain point. And if you look for any of the traits that you see that I just showed you above, that's how you'll find it. That's how you'll be able to say, hey, I think you can improve this. Here's the solution to your pain. Here's how you can make more money. And then you show them that you are competent. You show them that you know what you're talking about by showing them examples, whether it's just people in their niche that have a similar offer, or if you've worked with the client in the past and you can show them that, or you can even go above and beyond and write some sample emails for them or write part of a new VSL script for them. Like that will set you apart from everybody else that's doing outreach. Yes, a lot of people want to work with info product clients, but the majority of pitches that everybody gets are just absolutely horrible. I know this because I get them personally and my friends get them, and they're just bad, bro. Like nobody puts the time into doing anything that I've just showed you, into actually assessing what somebody's current situation is and showing them how to solve that problem. Once you do that, it's like incredibly easy to stand out. So if you want to get different results from everybody else, you have to do things that are different from everybody else. Yes, that means that it's going to take more time to do outreach per client, but do you want a 10 out of 10 supermodel, or do you want the 4? Do you want a 4? Probably fucking not. So lastly, you're going to explain why your method works better than what they're doing now. And you're not going to do this in like an aggressive, you're an idiot type of way, but you're just going to show them logically, okay, this is how sending more emails will make you more money. This is how improving your VSL will make you more money. This is how adding a high ticket offer will make you more money. Once you just make that logical argument and you prove that you know what you're talking about by using logic, that is your credibility. Like if you don't even have a client right now, you can still do this just by emphasizing that point. You'll get around the, oh, who else have you worked with question just by showing them that you're an expert. And if you do enough research, you basically are an expert. So if you just do 5 to 10 of these types of pitches per day, I guarantee you, you will get a really good client. And you can do this through Loom, or you can write samples, send them an Instagram message, send them an email. Like there's no foolproof blueprint to get a client, because anything can work. You just have to be creative and not do what everybody else is doing. So if there was a foolproof method, eventually it gets patched and it doesn't work anymore. But what I will tell you is a lot of people inside of my coaching program are having a lot of success finding people's email addresses and sending them a cold email manually, or just sending them a pitch directly on Instagram. So let's move on. Once you get your 10 out of 10 beautiful banger client, how do you scale them to $100,000 a month plus? How do you get that 2 Comma Club award so you can flex your client results like every other insufferable marketer online? So what you have to do is build the infrastructure and redirect your focus to content. And what I mean by that is most of the time you're gonna do this through a high ticket sales funnel. So here's my funnel here. Here's the headline copy. Here's the VSL that you're gonna script for your client. And then you have a button that says apply here and book a call. And then you have a bunch of social proof below it. That simply works. You can look at anybody who's crushing it in info right now, who has a big organic audience. Odds are they're doing something similar to this. I'll show you mine right now. I have my own coaching program where I teach people how to do exactly what I'm teaching you how to do now, which you should go apply for in the description below. But anyway, this is exactly how I'm doing it. I have a headline here, I have my VSL, I have apply for coaching and get pricing, and then I have a bunch of social proof and results under it. So once somebody goes through this funnel and they click apply, it takes them to an application. And here, they'll fill out their information, it'll see if they're qualified, and then they'll either book a call or they'll disappear. If they disappear, that's where you need to be sending them emails and then actually SMS as well, so they end up coming back and booking a call. Once they book a call, the next goal is to get them to show up to that call. So you're gonna need to nurture them again. You're gonna need to send them more emails, show them more proof, say, hey, this is why you should show up to the call, this is what you're gonna learn. Here are other successful people who have showed up to the call that you're scheduled for right now. And the sales team should be manually reaching out to every single lead before that actual call. Next, obviously, they need to hop on the call, go through the normal sales call process, and get paid. So that's how you end up making a lot of these. So if I just zoom out here, you're responsible for all of this. Basically, up until the sales call, you're likely not going to be the closer for your clients' offers. You can place a closer, and if you have a sales background, you can help manage them. But the majority of your efforts are going to want to go here. You need to get as many booked calls and showed calls as possible so you can make as much of this as possible. And your goal is to make this as well-oiled of a machine as it can be. So people are coming into the funnel, they're going through the application process, they're getting consistent emails, they're getting nurtured, they're booking calls, they're showing up to calls, the closer's closing deals, and you're making a fuck ton of these, and life is really good. Once you've built out the infrastructure and money is coming in and things are working, then you can shift your focus back to content. Because once this is all built, once this is all dialed, the only way that you're gonna make more money is by getting more eyeballs. So you can either then start helping your client with their content. You can script videos for them, which is easier than ever to do now with AI. You can start running ads for them, or you can just help kind of keep them accountable and make sure that they're posting consistent content so you guys get a lot of leads into the funnel and everybody's closing deals. And obviously this doesn't mean that you can completely take your eye off of the infrastructure. Obviously you're gonna have to continually send emails and make sure the sales team's doing what they need to do, and if anything changes in the metrics, you're gonna need to keep an eye on it. But the main goal is to get as much traffic as possible. And sometimes you'll be in a scenario where you don't even have to help your clients at all. Like they're just crushing it on their own and they're seeing that money coming in. So they're really motivated and excited to continually making content. And they kind of crack the code on that side. So you don't really have to worry about it. But if you really want to go above and beyond and help them as much as possible, that's another thing that you can do for them. So anyway, this is the entire process that I teach inside of my coaching program, Artisan Lab. It's a mix of small group coaching and one-on-one. I don't just throw you in there with some random coach. You don't ever see me or interact with me. I'm personally in the community every single day, replying to messages, sharing tips, showing you what's working inside of my agency, inside of my clients' businesses, inside of my own info product company. So you get direct access to me, and then I have a one-on-one coach in there who's worked with Joel Kaplan, Charlie Morgan. He's truly an expert in the info product space. Plus I bring in guests from my network a couple times a month. Typically these are guys who are 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs who are super successful, and they've built either really big agencies or coaching businesses, or maybe they're in software. They're just guys who are very interesting to listen to and learn from. And then obviously I have dozens of hours of course content in there as well that'll teach you everything that you could possibly need to know about scaling this type of business. I don't want to pitch you too hard, but obviously the link is in the description of this video. You can go check that out and see some of the student results that we're getting inside. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hope you have liked this one. Like, subscribe, comment, share this with your grandma. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.